Hello everyone, Merry Christmas. Liverpool, top of the table, champions of England, taking on Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace at Selhurst Bin. I have... I fucking hate that crowd. It's a big game, a massive game. We're going to be here for the next 10 minutes or so talking through the Liverpool team news, which is out right now. Chris Pajak will be revealing it at the board momentarily. He's just done a big wave to no one there. Tom, you just sold Chris down the river. He had a great wave for everyone. It was enthusiastic, and now we're going to have to ask him to do it again. Brilliant. Yes, you can interact with the show. If you've got any thoughts on the team in the comments section alongside, and we'll read through a few toward the back end. But yes, Chris Pajak, take it away.
Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas. So, Liverpool's team is out. It's Alisson Becker in goal. It's Andy Robertson, Fabinho, Joel Matip returns for one game and one game only. Let's hope it's more than one game. Trent Alexander-Arnold is right back. Midfield, a little bit of a change. We've got Henderson, we've got Taki Keita, and we've got Gini Wijnaldum. And then the front three, as it stands, is Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, Takumi Minamino. Now, I've thrown Takumi Minamino over on that right-hand side for now. Obviously, we've got extra subs from now. So we've got two goalkeepers, because why would you use two outfield players, an extra outfield player, when you can use an extra goalkeeper? Adrian and Caoimhin Kelleher, Rhys Williams, Nat Phillips, Nico Williams, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Kurt Jones, Mo Salah, who is rested, and Divock Origi sees out the 9 substitutes. Obviously, we can still only make the same amount of substitutes unless there's any concussion stuff. In fact, that comes in January, I believe, so it won't even happen today. So, yeah, the big talking point, obviously, Joel Matip goes in at centre-half, which is great to see. Big nod to Rhys Williams for his performance midweek against Tottenham. Thank you very much, Rhys. We're going to go with Joel Matip from here, and that's absolutely fine. And then, obviously, the midfield three. I expect it will be Jordan in the 6 rather than Gini Wijnaldum again. And then we've got Taki Keita, which I've thrown him on the left-hand side. It'd be nice to see Naby get 60, 70 minutes. I'd actually like to see Naby get switched out for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in this game, if the state of the game at the time when we normally make substitutes is right. Because I think it's probably about time that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain got some minutes in there as well. I wouldn't be shocked to see Kurt Jones come in, because, again, this is probably a resting more than anything else. I think Kurt Jones has been on fire the last few weeks and stuff, and would deserve fully a spot in this side if it wasn't for the amount of minutes that he's played. The front three is obviously interesting. I think after his performance against Tottenham the other night, I think Bobby Firmino in the 9 is essential. And then it's a case of who plays right, who plays left. Obviously, we've seen Taki play all 3 positions at the front. So we've seen him play left-hand side. He could very well play left with Mane switching to the right. But because of the way that Robbo and Mane link up, I'd like to see Mane and Robertson over on that side again, so that we can play those little 1-2s in the overlaps and then coming back. Interested to see how Takumi Minamino plays this one, because obviously Mo Salah is such a dangerous player in the way he plays it. He likes the ball at his feet, he likes to dribble forwards, he likes to cut inside. Taki, if he's playing on that right side, probably can't play it in the same way. He's certainly not going to be an option for Trent Alexander-Arnold to whip that big ball down the line. So I'm interested to see whether he just sort of, him and Bobby have like that close control and that link-up play that him and Salah do, but in a different way almost. So really interesting. I'm going to have a lot of focus on Takumi Minamino for me, and then obviously we've got the subs. Again, I mentioned already, I'd like to see Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain at some point, Paul. Would you like to see him as well?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I want to point out, we got some comments coming in. Most people are talking about Mohamed Salah being on the bench. People saying like, why, given we've got a week off, etc. Just thought I'd pull up the stats from this season. You can see in terms of minutes played across all competitions this season, Andy Robertson is top, 1,684, followed by 40 minutes less than that, with Mohamed Salah, Gini Wijnaldum underneath. And I think when we're talking about how many minutes that Robbo's played, we all know Robbo's played loads, we all know Gini's played loads. I don't think people are talking in the same way about Mohamed Salah. He is absolutely essential to how we play. And look, I can't see a world where he doesn't get involved in this game in some way, shape or form. But there's also the double bubble thing here, isn't there, Chris, where there's no Jota. And we know Divock Origi inside and out, and you know he might well get an appearance off the bench in this one. But Taki Minamino, I think a lot of people are writing him off, but we're going to have to get him up to speed. We need to get him back in the side. And again, Salah's played a lot of minutes. There's a nice dovetail in there, but I just think this could be a decent game for Taki to go and run it.
You said last week as well, with midfielders coming back, with Ox coming back, with Naby Keita coming back, is it the end of the Minamino in midfield experiment? And less than 7 days later, he's already in the front 3. So you could be right there, Paul, couldn't you? I mean, the thing is, Klopp likes technical players. We know Takumi Minamino is a technical player. Klopp likes players who are versatile. We know he's a versatile player. Klopp also likes players to do stuff on the pitch, and that's what we want to see next from Takumi Minamino, because there hasn't been enough of an impact from Taki from what we've seen so far in his Liverpool career. Now, yes, he's been here a lot longer than Jota, but still it was so disrupted at the start of the year that, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if he got a little bit homesick. Obviously comes over to a new country and then he's basically told to stay in his bedroom. Now, he might have had a house, but you know, he has to stay inside and can't really integrate himself with the squad. Now, from the training videos and stuff, he looks like he's fully integrated, and we want to see that on the field with the other lads around him. So I'm really interested to see Taki. I think you're right, Paul. I think Mo Salah probably does get minutes in this game. The interesting one that I'll just pick up on from what you mentioned is obviously Gini Wijnaldum. Did you say was third most minutes there? Maybe it's Kurt for Gini, and maybe it's Keita for Ox, something like that, so that we can try and get minutes down. Obviously, there's no one really that you're going to swap Andy Robertson out for unless you're in a really, really good position, and maybe you bring Nico in at left back, something like that. But I think you'd have to probably be 3-0 up at that point, Paul.
Yeah, interesting. A few people again in the comments here. First and foremost, Combat Pro BTW asking what let's say to look at the Crystal Palace team. We can do just that right now. Keita in goal once again, who we know can be a merely mixed bag to say the very least. I haven't seen his performance last week. Nathaniel Klein, great to see Nate Klein in at right back there. Kiarte and Kale and Van Arnold. We've got Jeffrey Schlupp, Milivojevic in midfield with MacArthur. Eze will start. Ayew is going to be replacing the suspended Christian Benteke with Zaha. And, you know, we talked a little bit about this, didn't we, Chris, about this kind of played into Fulham's hands a bit. You know, not having the big lump target man made them a bit more dynamic and a bit more difficult for us to play. Palace played a lot like this last season with Ayew as the main man. And look, he's never going to go down as the brightest light in the Premier League, but he is mobile and he does allow, you know, it means they've got a much pacier and much more direct front three without having Benteke in there.
Yeah, I must admit, I when we did the build-up show, we actually didn't mention him by name, Ayew, did we? And he was, you know, it just didn't come through. I was going to mention him because I think he's a really good player, and I think he's caused us problems in the past as well. Whenever we've played against,
we've got Townsend and Batshuayi on the bench, which says a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, he's a really good player. He knows where the back of the goal is. Importantly for Crystal Palace and stuff. I think the key for Palace in this, obviously, where I've got it, Stats Owner basically saying that this is a 4-4-2 with Ayew and Zaha up front, and it seems to me like the Van Aanholt and Eze left hand side going against Trent and probably Jordan Henderson and now Taki Minamino could be one of the places if Crystal Palace are looking to exploit Liverpool. That's probably it, because I'm really interested to see how Eze goes up against Trent and Trent goes up against Eze.
Look, and it's a big challenge for Eze. I've seen a lot of people going, oh, he's going to give Trent game. Well, look, maybe, because he is a good player and he's having a good season so far. But like Trent should have this mentality of this is an up and comer here. By all accounts, Trent is an established footballer. This is a game where what you're meant to see, and what we've seen historically in these kind of situations, is if you are the best in the world, you come up against lads who are touted as the next big thing, and you just shut them down. So it is a big game. Just thought it was interesting. Again, we had a question about Taki Minamino and where he plays. In fact, Fikri, sorry, Hanif said, what position did Minamino at Salzburg? And I just brought it again. I just bring it up. Obviously, this is half a Premier League, half a season with Liverpool and half a season with Salzburg. But in terms of his games played, predominantly from the right. Of all the performances last season across both teams, 14 of those came as a right winger, 7 as a left winger, 6 centre forward, 2 attacking mid and 2 right mid. So that stands to reason that you're right on the Minamino thing. I could make a case both ways. You could make a case that you don't want to make too many changes, I think is the obvious one. But also Mane's amazing from the right as well, isn't it? And then you maintain Minamino doesn't necessarily need to be as direct and as pacey from the left-hand side, because Mo is a lot of the guy who often stretches it down the right, which Mane could replicate.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you was to think about the full-backs and stuff like that, maybe Mane against Van Aanholt, who likes to go forwards, is an area that we can exploit. Kleiny, not so much, as we know from experience. Kleiny's the better full-back, so does Mane get more change out of Klein or bombing on Van Aanholt? So that's an interesting one, I suppose, as well. I think, I'd imagine that Klein, because he's such a good defender, is going to be good against either of them. He'll have a much tougher time, I think, against Sadio Mane. But can you exploit Van Aanholt if you were to move Mane over to that side? I'm not sure.
Good question here from Natural Red in the live comments saying, Genie in the 6, Hendo helping Taki.
Yeah, that could work. That could work, yeah. It's one of them, innit? I think Keita's going to be key for the midfield 3. I think, look, when you go up against Milivojevic, how do you say it?
Take your pick.
Milivojevic and McArthur.
Milivojevic.
I think that Liverpool's midfield 3 should get the better of them too, if it certainly is a 2 anyway. Keita's going to be key. I've just seen a super chat actually from Andrew Morrison. Thank you very much for the super chat. Who said, hopefully Keita can unpick the Palace low block. Now, we do expect to see a Palace low block today, and I do expect that Keita will be key to unpicking that. I think we've got a better chance if Henderson is in the 8, because I think he's just a little bit better going forwards than Gini Wijnaldum. Although when Gini is unleashed, he's as good as anybody because he can start arriving late and take those shots and stuff.
It's that thing of, it's the urgency with which Jordan Henderson plays and the urgency he brings to the way that the rest of the team play. He forces it forward, and I say it's like he drives it in and follows it in. You know what I mean? He's just like, I bet he gets to a round of golf dead quick.
Yeah,
he doesn't sit and wait for. I bet he's already waiting when the ball's landed.
He's not zigzagging across the fairway trying to find his ball like me, though, is he?
True, yeah. Just hits it up. He's like a dog after it. Straight after it. So I think it's really interesting to see what we do in there. I'd imagine Hendo will start in the 6. We had this conversation last week. It's a nice option to have. You start with Hendo in the 6. You gain control. You gain understanding how the game's going to break. How it's going to play out. If you need to go up a gear, Jordan Henderson in that position does let you go up a gear. But we've seen this. I think him and Gini have played really well in the last few games in particular. And Curtis Jones has been allowed to kind of go where the actions dictated. Keita's very good at doing that. We forget sometimes. This is the time last season where Keita came back. In fact, he'd been back a couple of weeks by this point, but he came back into the side for the Christmas period and was a massive bonus for us. We took him to Qatar. He's really good in that Monterrey game as well. And this is Keita's time for now. Use him while we've got him. I wouldn't be shocked if he had a really good game for us.
I don't think we're not that far away from him being our best player. I think after lockdown, Liverpool weren't absolutely scintillating and stuff, but towards the end of the league season, Keita was every week being talked about as the man of the match, and he was playing at an incredible level. And I think because of how the season sort of ended and everything that was going on in the world at the time, and Liverpool already already winning the Premier League, that we kind of forget about that. He was absolutely brilliant and key in quite a lot of those games and those victories. So yeah. I just hope he can hit the ground running. I just hope that we're sorted in midfield, because if he can just get a run of games, Paul, he is going to change this Liverpool side. I truly believe that. At
this point, I'm more sceptical about Keita. I'm not sceptical about his ability, but I'm now, I think, understandably sceptical about his ability to ever fulfil that, consistently for Liverpool. But I don't need him to be. Liverpool don't need him to be that this season. Right now, we could just do with. It's like we've got a massive tag match going on in midfield, and it's just like if people are going to keep getting injured, we just need them to be tagging other people in when they're going down. So I need Keita to be back for a couple of games until Thiago can tag him out, and then he can go out for a bit, and then Kurt Jones can come in and do some bits of his. Hopefully, Oxlade-Chamberlain, we'll see him this afternoon. Will help with all that. But yeah,
what we want, actually, to continue the rest of the analogy, is that just be so in control that we're just tagging for no reason. Yeah. When the great tag teams just have them in the corner, yeah, and just keep tagging, and that's what we need at the moment.
Yeah. Stuart Armstrong with £5 super chat. Thank you so much, Stuart. Big moment for Taki. Klopp giving him a massive chance to make his claim for regular minutes. I agree. If he doesn't kick on soon, maybe a loan move will help. Maybe. I've said this all along. Look, he either becomes a really useful member of our squad, or he becomes a make weight in a bigger transfer dealing. Either way is fine for me. My thing for him is that he's been damned a little bit by how good Jota's been, and he's set the bar for how good Salah should be. He's not at that level. And he may become to that level at some point, but he's not, and he may never, because that's a very, 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 very high bar that the front three and now Jota have kind of set. All he's got to be for us, again, he just has to be Yossi Benayoun. He just has to be a lad who can come in and rotate into any given game and be fine. He just needs to come in and do a job for us. If he can go and be an 8, 9 out of 10 every week, absolutely magic. But again, we've got, when fully fit, we've got 4 lads who do that in the front 3 already. He just needs to be able to drop in and let the other lads have a bit of a break.
I get it, and I think you're right to a point, because doing what you're suggesting there is better than what he's done over the last sort of year and a half, isn't it? But it's just, it screams to me that he's got so much ability. He's much better than that, and we could use him in a much better way. I'm still hopeful that we can get something out of him where he just gets that run of games, and maybe it's stupidity at this point because we've seen for a year and a half. But
it's not even a year and a half, though, is it?
When Wijnaldum, he still hasn't signed a contract. So next year, what are we looking at? We're looking at Thiago. We need to get him back and fit and playing and integrated anyway. You've obviously got Kurt Jones and Jordan Henderson. Keita becomes more integral next season if Wijnaldum doesn't sign a contract. And, it's so tough because I think he's in our best midfield 3 if he's playing well.
Keita?
Yeah, okay. I do. I think he's got that much ability that he's there. It's just, he's just not able to do it all the time. Whereas with Shaqiri, I think all he can be is almost the Benayoun, because
Shaqiri,
yeah.
Minamino we're talking about.
I thought we were talking. Wait there, no, Shaqiri.
Oh right,
no Shaqiri. I think all he can be at best is Benayoun, but Keita, I think he's got more than that. I think he can be a first teamer for us.
No doubt whatsoever.
Cool.
The Benayoun thing was Minamino.
Oh, sorry, right.
Okay. I was like, this is all great stuff, by the way. Absolutely all great stuff. I was like, yeah, no, I agree with everything you're saying. Yeah. No, I agree. Naby Keita is because I said this all along. When he's fit,
I've been talking about Keita for about 10 minutes, by the way.
Oh yeah, we did, and then we had a super chat about Minamino,
right,
and then we started talking about Minamino.
Sorry. Just pulled the page, Jack.
Yeah, sounds fine. Yeah, no doubt. Naby Keita, when he's fit, we played him in the new camp because we think he is a transformer. We think he's good enough. There might be the point that Thiago and Curtis Jones actually supersede him because one of them's better and the other one's able to get on the pitch more often and has got loads more to give in the longer term. But yeah, him and Minamino and Oxlade-Chamberlain, big couple of weeks for them. And it starts here. No one should make any conclusive decisions, I think, on Taki Minamino. But if he can just get to a point where, as I say, where he's a 7 out of 10 every week when he comes in, that's fine. If we get more from that, that'd be amazing. But he's a £7.5 million player that we've bought. You can't have every player in your squad be world class. You need lads who just come in and facilitate the other lads doing the bits and pieces. But that's today.
I still think, I just wonder whether the plan was 4-2-3-1, and because of the injuries, we've kind of moved away from that, because it feels like in a 4-3-3, I don't see where he has an impact. Consistently, you know what I mean? Whereas I could understand it in a 4-2-3. I don't think Liverpool have been good in 4-2-3-1, by the way, whenever we played it. Not great.
Well, we'll have to see. It's a very exciting game regardless, and we know a win will guarantee Liverpool. In fact, a draw will be enough to guarantee Liverpool as top at Christmas, which is a wonderful little milestone as the season goes on, given everything we've gone through. What do you think of the team? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to check back very shortly indeed, because we will be there. I think we've got a super chat actually.
Yeah, we do, mate. Yeah, we've got one from Sig Josh. Thank you so much. I'm not a fan of Matip. I think we need to replace him in the next transfer window with somebody who's more reliable, somebody who can stay fit. It's an interesting one, that, because I like Matip, and when he puts 10, 15 games together, which is very rare, he looks like an absolute player, doesn't he? So I think you're right. I think we just need people who are more reliable at the moment, and Klopp understands that. My big thing is, if we sign a centre-half in January, we're signing a second choice. We're signing, I think, someone to go alongside Virgil 100%. Van Dijk long-term, because I just can't see the point in signing someone for 6 months. No. Not when, you've got young lads as well who are there, ready to step up in a year or two.
Tons of players who are capable of being fourth-choice centre-halves. Tons of them, we've got three lads under the age of 20 who can all do that job if they need to. 4th, 5th choice. You're right. There's no point in going out and spending money on anyone other than someone who should be better than. They should be at least as good as Joe Gomez. And if then they can get themselves regularly into the side, then that's a battle for Joe Gomez. And if you've then got a situation where it means Gomez has got to give absolutely everything, which I think he does anyway, to be fair, and Joel Matip can just be used as a luxury. Oh, we've got a game where we're a little short. Oh, we drop Joel Matip in. Big shrug because he's a boss centre half.
2 minutes to go, they're lobbing the ball in it. Let's have our 92nd minute substitute of Joel Matip, 5 at the back. Thank you very much. Love that. 3 points. Cheers.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sayab Ahmed joins the first team member. Brilliant. Thank you so much, mate. You get access to the members members-only chat in the fan reaction show after the match. You can also use the custom emotes in there as well during the live stream. We're going to be back at 12:15 to begin the watch-along and the commentary for Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, and hopefully guide our way through to 3 massive points for the mighty Reds and give us a very happy Christmas indeed. We hope to see you there. If not, enjoy the match and check back in for more post-match content later on this afternoon. Ta-ra. Aston Villa 7, Liverpool 2.
Diogo Jota everywhere. Right hand side, left hand side, deep as well.
If you want to request a song as well.
How do they do that, Paul?
You just literally go, give us a song. Glory, round the field.
It's a no.
Oh, this doesn't feel great. Do you know what? The chocolate's melting and it's slipping out of my hand.
Oh, it's wobbly! It's a wobbly biscuit! The champions are back on top of the pile.